The night I drove my drunk boss home, I thought I was simply doing the right thing. I never imagined that one late-night drive would expose the pain hidden behind his successful life, and that his wife would thank me in a way I would remember forever. It had been raining heavily when I found my boss, Daniel, sitting alone outside the company's private dinner venue. He was usually the most confident man in the office, always perfectly dressed, always in control. But that night his tie was loose, his eyes were tired, and he could barely walk straight. His car keys were in his hand, and I immediately knew he had no business driving. I took the keys gently, helped him into my car, and decided I would take him home myself. The drive was strangely quiet. Daniel stared through the wet window while the city lights blurred across the glass. For months, I had seen him as nothing more than my demanding boss. I had never imagined that beneath the expensive suit was a man carrying so much loneliness. Halfway home, he suddenly admitted that he had been afraid his family was falling apart. He said success had given him money, but somewhere along the way, he had stopped being present for the people who mattered most. When we reached his house, I helped him to the front door. Before I could knock, the door opened. His wife, Emily, was standing there. She looked worried, not angry. The moment she saw Daniel, her expression softened, and she immediately understood what had happened. I expected her to blame him or perhaps blame me for bringing him home so late. Instead, she quietly thanked me for not leaving him alone and for making sure he arrived safely. Then she noticed my soaked clothes and the exhaustion on my face. She insisted that I come inside for a few minutes and have something warm to drink. As Daniel rested upstairs, Emily told me something I had never known. She said her husband had been struggling for months but had hidden it from everyone because he believed a successful man was never supposed to admit he was hurting. She thanked me not because I had done something extraordinary, but because I had treated him like a human being when he was at his weakest. The next morning, I returned to work expecting everything to be forgotten. Instead, Daniel called me into his office. He remembered almost nothing about the drive, but Emily had told him everything. He thanked me sincerely and admitted that he had been so focused on deadlines, profits, and appearances that he had forgotten the value of simple kindness. Over the following weeks, something changed. Daniel began leaving the office earlier to spend time with his family. He started listening to his employees instead of simply giving orders. And for the first time, he noticed the struggles of people around him. Then something unexpected happened to me. I had been quietly struggling financially, trying to support my family while working long hours. Daniel discovered that I had been taking extra shifts after work. Instead of embarrassing me, he offered me a better position with a salary increase based on my actual work and dedication. I refused at first, believing I had only done what anyone should have done. But Daniel told me that kindness had reminded him of the person he wanted to become. He said helping me was not repayment. It was his way of passing the kindness forward. Months later, I received a handwritten note from Emily. She wrote that the night I brought Daniel home had changed their family. She said sometimes a person doesn't need a miracle. They simply need someone to care when they are at their lowest. That sentence stayed with me. We often think kindness has to be something huge. Sometimes it is simply taking someone's keys away when they cannot make the right decision. Sometimes it is driving through the rain, waiting at a doorstep, or refusing to judge someone by their worst night. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to Kindness Space if you believe in kindness, second chances, and the power of doing the right thing when nobody is watching. And if you've ever experienced a small act of kindness that changed your life, I would love to hear about it.